a picture of my mouth.
You have it nailed.
Mike's alive.
Thank you, live mics.
You could do it with that one of those little things like the kids' pictures. You could just rotate each part of your face.
There was a Subway ad that ran forever in New York that was like, see something, say something. And there's just a bunch of different people's types of eyes. And everyone swore my eyes were on the ad. Mm-hmm. And it got so bad that I actually had to call my friend who worked at the MTA to be like, is it my eyes? Like, was it like open sourced?
This is Penn Sunday School, and to
They just stole your eyes.
We're going.
Find it.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Jillette. My name is Mike Ludo, and after a month on the road, Matt Donnelly is back. We are broadcasting from Show Creator Studios in Las Vegas. This week, Penn saw the unrestored version of the movie 2001, did a Q&A for the Writers Guild of America, and was T-boned in a traffic accident. Here he is, preaching love in spite of the crash, Mr. Penn Jillette.
Yeah, I'm preaching love. I am preaching love.
You were in a car accident?
T-boned.
Shoot, I'm gonna delete all my royal wedding notes. I had no idea.
In the Tesla.
In the Tesla.
Oh, Lord.
And lucky, I was in the Tesla. I was going down Valley View, coming up to what's now called Viking and soon will be called Penn and Teller Way, I hope.
Yeah.
No evidence for
The
that.
Vikings are not going to be happy.
No, but they're pussies.
Clearly, this might have been the first shot fired by the Viking.
I was surprised that I was hit by an ox cart. We also saw that Penn, not particularly good at reacting to trauma the way others do.
Right.
I was going down Valley View. You know, it's 4 lanes, 2 in each direction. I was in the center section heading. Boy, I'm going to actually do this right. Heading west.
Whoa.
Toward the theater from east, and but you know, toward Flamingo with Sahara behind me.
Okay.
And my white Tesla with the atheist plates.
So north.
Oh, was it north? No, I'm heading south.
South? Okay, south.
I was heading south, right?
Okay.
I was heading south. Not
Oh, we've now named all 4 directions. So we know we're at least right in
We're
some
covered.
capacity.
I was
Get ready, edit this out once you get
I was heading
to a map.
south, and west was to my right.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yes.
East was to my left.
That's all good.
North was behind me. I was heading south on Valley View.
You could feel that cold wind
Valley View.
coming down
The
your
road
back
that goes
of your
in
Oh,
neck.
every direction.
When a car came zipping out of a driveway or a parking lot or something.
Okay.
Right out, there was no cars in the right lane, came across, and I could see the trajectory was he was going to hit me square in the passenger side. So I have a Tesla with remarkable pickup and handling abilities.
Yeah.
And I slammed my foot on the accelerator, and I cut it really, really hard right. Yes, which would in this case be west. Cut it really hard right.
Just say I'm all clean. North, south, east, and west.
North, south, east, west.
We're good.
Now, Reddy can edit it any way he needs to.
And my car almost got out of his way, but not quite. And when I spun a little bit, so all he did was hit my right passenger rear wheel well. Smashed up the wheel itself, and then hurt the back bumper, and smashed his car a lot. And then I was there in the middle of the road, and I know for a fact that people that get hurt really badly, some of them get hurt really badly after the accident is over, when other cars hit them. So I said, oh, this electric car, who knows if it'll start up. It doesn't need to start up. It's a golf cart. So I just put it into park and then put it back into drive. It took right off. And I pulled into the place, and I pulled into the he pulled in beside me.
Did you take any photos or anything first?
We got out, and I said, you okay? He said, yeah. And he had a heavy accent. And he said, I didn't see you coming out of there. I don't know what I did. I said, it doesn't matter. No, who cares?
Yeah.
And he went, no, we had a try. I said, who cares? Shut up. So I took my phone and I dialed 911. which is always exciting. I said, I have to report an accident. And the 911 person said, is anybody hurt? I said, no. The car is able to drive out of traffic? I said, yes. She said, you probably just take each other's information. If you wait for a cop to get there, it'd be like over an hour. I said, so I shouldn't do anything? She said, just get the information and leave. I said, okay.
Yeah, that's what they do now.
Very world-weary
Yeah.
911. I guess because 911 people are in it for the adrenaline rush. You're on fire in the middle of the ocean?
This might be the call. Oh, a minor traffic accident on Valley View?
For me, Ms. 911, 2017, I got to put up with this shit. The car is running and no one's hurt. Fuck that.
Let me tell you the calls I've gotten on this call on this line. Bank hostage.
Bank hostage. Bank hostage. I'll tell you something. 2017, bank hostage was only an okay day. I had casinos on fire.
Yeah.
I had a horse running through downtown. I had a drunk guy flinging shit while his head was on fire. That's why I got this job, sir. I did not get this job for your car to drive fine.
Right, yeah. That's your Tesla babysitter. Let's go.
So I went over. I said, he said, 911 says just take each other's information. He said, listen, I don't even know. I said, calm down. You're hurt. He said, no. I said, good. Then quiet. What's your phone number? He said, what? I said, give me your phone number. I'll text you my name, my license plate number, and you will also get my phone number. He said, and he gave it to me, and I texted him my name. I said, my license plate's easy. It's Atheist. I'll now write down yours. Now go away. He said, well, man, I don't know what, I'm going to be late for work. This could ruin. I said, go. You're not going to be late for work. Go. I'm on my way to work, too. Go. Go. He wanted to have a moment with me about the awful thing that had happened to us. And I had no moments to share with him.
Yeah.
So that was my big accident. And no airbags were deployed. You know, the airbags in the Tesla are comedy airbags.
Really?
They pop up all over
75 in
and
there.
put you in a bubble. You know, it's like you go back to the womb. And I was a little disappointed they weren't deployed. Although I guess it's not like that. It's more like, and they're all over you. And but nothing was deployed, and I was very excited. I believe if I had been in my old Leaf with that rather slowish pickup and handling, I believe I would have been hit right in the side and knocked sideways more and probably been more traumatized.
Yeah.
It really felt like the Tesla was saving me.
How long ago did this happen?
Monday.
Oh, okay. So you know now whether
You got
you
a week to
feel.
recover.
Were you stiff the next day?
My neck and shoulder. Well, I often. Oh, no, sorry.
Is it like right when you woke up?
Yeah, there was some swelling. My neck and shoulders were a little sore and tight,
Okay.
but nothing to complain to 911 about. Clearly, she didn't think so.
Yesterday you were nonplussed, and now I'm stiff in the neck. Miss 911.
You just used nonplussed backwards.
Oh, I did? I'm
Non-
plussed.
Nonplussed means shocked.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I've been using that way wrong for a very long time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, and if enough people do, it changes.
It just changes. Yeah,
That's
who cares?
true.
That's the good news.
And I don't. I'm on your side. Even as the ignorant speaker, I don't want to defend my ignorance, being like, but everyone else does it.
Yeah.
So
Nonplussed is a stupid word
yeah,
because nonplussed. There's a word we need.
yeah,
Meaning in a shocking situation to not react. We need that word.
Yeah.
We have a lot of words for holy shit.
right.
So we don't need another word that sounds like we don't care that means holy shit. We don't need that word.
Yeah,
So why not let nonplussed go to bat? Designated hitter. We have this position that we need.
Yeah.
And the position is the need for the non-holy shit in the holy shit situation.
yeah,
We need to be able to say Penn got T-boned, but he was nonplussed.
right.
That would be a good thing. Penn was T-boned, but he wasn't upset. Yeah.
Non-holy shitted.
Non-holy. We need one word for that.
Yeah, like the active choice. Like here I am coming in, and wow, am I not saying holy shit?
Yeah.
Like that's the word we need.
Yeah. And that's why nonplussed was risen to that.
We just shove it in there.
I was listening to
I need some other words clean.
what?
Left, right, and 2018.
Left, right, 2018.
Thank you.
Rear wheel well.
Rear wheel wall.
Turns out Reddy just actually assembles it from our vocabulary, the whole
that's all
show.
he does.
None of us listen, and so we don't know.
Soon we'll have read the whole dictionary, and he's done.
And then we can just use artificial intelligence to create episodes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. We'll stay home.
Easy. So I was listening to Stephen Fry has this podcast called Leap Years that is fabulous.
It's Stephen Fry.
Fabulous. Where he talks about major inventions that changed the world.
Right.
And
Oh, good.
It's really, really good.
He
And
must talk about me often.
he also puts in jokes that are so wrong for a science show. So wrong. He says, what does he say? I had to. He's talking about awards and the Nobel Prize and says there are many, many awards besides the Nobel Prize. For instance, I won Cigar Aficionado of the Year and I won Year's Best Gay. And to do that, I had to beat off Ian McKellen. And then he goes like, had to beat off Ian McKellen. And then later he's talking about the invention of the
It's a new podcast, relatively new.
brand
Yeah.
new, the business machines cards. And he said the start of computers, when the National Cash Register Company, they could use punch holes.
Yes.
And then it would go in. So he said you could do male or female if that was your, back when those things were binary. There were only two things. You could put no hole for man and hole for a woman. And then he goes, hey, stop sniggering there in the back. He does jokes like that all through it. But he also taught me, these were not his words, how hard it is to be God. I wanted you to see how hard it is to be God. Okay? Fritz Heber makes it very, very hard to be God. Okay? Because we're going to say in our world, you get to decide heaven or hell. Okay?
Sure.
Heaven or hell. Fritz Heber going to decide heaven or hell. Fritz Heber decided how to use an ammonia process to make nitrogen fertilizer. Before Fritz Heber, all fertilizer was either dung
Yes.
or compost. No other fertilizer. He, as they sometimes say, pulled bread from the air. Now, you can't win a Nobel Prize for any invention. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
You have to win it for a discovery. He discovered the chemical system, and people have said that 1/3 of the people on the planet
Yeah, it's a big deal.
are alive because of Fritz Heber.
Yeah.
Fritz Heber wins the Nobel Prize. Right to heaven, right?
Yeah.
Right to heaven. Then World War I comes along, and he works on mustard gas. And he works hard on mustard gas, and he is responsible for that gas being used. Then World War II comes along. He's living in Germany, Fritz Heber. Fritz Heber is Jewish, and Fritz Heber is working on an insecticide, which he then discovers would be pretty good for killing people, and he invents Zyklon B. So of the 6 million people killed in gas chambers, or I guess other ways too, but those who were killed in gas chambers were killed because of Fritz Heber. Heaven or hell. His wife was a pacifist, and when he developed all of this, she walked outside, put a gun in her mouth, and blew her brains out because her husband was such a monster. Okay? He then has his whole family rounded up and killed by Zyklon B.
Good Lord.
Then Fritz Heber, after all of this, right at the end of his life, discovers chemotherapy and saves pretty much everybody with leukemia. Okay, Matt Donnelly, you're God.
Yeah.
Heaven or hell?
Let's see. As a former political science
You start
guy,
doing the math. 8
Yeah.
billion people is 1.6 billion. 20% were saved probably because of his fertilizer, right? Was that we're going with?
Oh, I was going to go the opposite. I was going to go totally, I mean, not opposite angle. I was going to go a very
So I
different
think
angle.
overall number-wise, he's probably saved more people than he's killed.
First of all, I am nonplussed to find out that this is all done by one man. I was going to go with, the royal wedding, which I've been following a lot of. All of these pesky pictures with him in a Nazi badge keep coming back up on the
Do they?
press. Yeah. Well, he was young. He was being an asshole. He knew all press eyes were on him, so he started wearing a Nazi arm thing at parties, which I actually get 100%.
Yeah.
Not 100%. I'm sympathetic to someone whose mom died tragically in a very high-profile press thing, to have every camera on you while you're going through your teenage years and partying.
Growing up in public.
Yeah, that you're going to basically kind of put on it's basically just a giant FU band that he put on his arm to anyone who wanted to watch it.
Although, looking back on it, Fuck You Band would have been better,
Yeah, like if we want to go back to that meeting.
all things considered. I'm feeling rather rebellious.
Yeah.
I suggest you not wear underwear and put a Fuck You Band on your arm. My suggestion. Swastika? Maybe
Yeah.
not.
So this inventor's name, what's his name?
Hey, Matt,
Fritz Heber.
I
Fritz
need some
Heber.
words clean.
Okay.
What are you doing? You're driving me crazy.
I love the Nazi Party.
Oh.
I adore. No, I'm gonna go say Fritz Heber.
Fritz Heber.
Fritz Heber was going through a rebellious phase during his mustard gas phase.
Haber.
Fritz Haber. Fritz Haber was going through a phase.
The article I'm looking at right here is called "The Tragedy of Fritz Haber, the Monster Who Fed the World." Can you imagine being his buddy,
Yeah.
sitting down with him at the end of his life?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the ammonia thing was a big deal. But there's another level we haven't even got to yet,
Yeah.
which is his ammonia process for the nitrogen led probably a lot to global warming. It's just, you take Fritz Haber out of the equation, the entire world is different.
Very different.
So what are you saying, heaven or hell?
I'm gonna go. I'm advocating for heaven for this guy.
So you don't care about the Jews.
Not at all.
Michael Goudot, heaven or hell for Fritz Haber?
Oh, man.
You're God now. You're God. You can't abdicate from God.
As God, I would have probably done a better job of making Fritz Haber. I just want to go, in my own defense, I might have made Fritz a little simpler character.
Or you might have made nitrogen fertilizer not be needed
Right.
and eliminated the Nazi Party.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
Hitler.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But no, if I had made those choices, then I would say Fritz has to go to heaven. I think he's got to go to heaven.
Ready, Rich.
I'm going to need to know more information about his wife.
B cup.
Still a tough call.
Listing him as the father of poison gas, not the father of all food.
Jera, heaven or hell? She wasn't listening?
She's
Off mic.
texting.
As the fact that she's off mic, he says hell.
I'm inclined to think hell.
Yeah, that's where you're going.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that he actually worked on developing gas that would kill other people
Right.
and actually worked on Zyklon B, whereas the ammonia to make nitrogen, I'm not sure he said this will feed all those people.
Right.
But intent, I don't know. But I'm God.
You're a
In
guy.
a court, I would say we can't measure intent.
Yeah.
But I'm God. So
You
I
can
would
measure
know.
intent. You built the intent into
Yeah.
him.
I want to know if he bragged about any of this.
Yeah,
you know?
hanging out with him would answer a lot of these questions.
Yeah. He was like, chemo, like, yeah, I guess it let some people hang around, but you know how many motherfuckers I killed? And then you kind of, we know a little bit, right?
Yeah, we know a lot.
The guy, first of all, I mean, what we do know is this guy just knew how to figure shit out.
Yeah, he looks
He's a
also
good chemist.
a big advantage is he looks like Donald Pleasance. Which, if you're going to do anything in Germany, good to look like Donald Pleasance, I think. Don't you think?
I have to look at a picture of Donald Pleasance.
You know who Donald Pleasance is.
I bet I do once I see him.
He looks like Fritz Haber.
Oh,
There you go. Wow. What a messed up life Fritz
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, he does look like Donald Pleasance.
he does. He does. As a matter of fact, when we make our movie, Donald Pleasance is also dead.
Okay,
Yeah.
from mustard gas.
He killed the guy that looked like him. But how do you do that? It's like we all of a sudden find out that Norman Borlaug was also dressed in a clown suit and killed children.
Yeah. Jeez
Which,
Louise.
by the way, he didn't. That was just my thought on that. I don't want to start this rumor. Norman Borlaug would be tied for greatest guy in the world
Yeah.
with Fritz Haber. Except Fritz Haber did everything else wrong.
The
Right.
demerits, except for the demerits.
They would have worked together.
You think you went, I got to make this chemo thing because I have done some bad shit. I got to make up for this.
Did you already discuss the guy who donated blood that saved like millions of children?
We haven't
Yeah, with the
discussed
arm.
You
it.
haven't discussed that?
the
The golden arm?
The golden arm guy. I was curious if you, as a diehard platelet donor, were jealous of the attention that this guy was getting for having a golden arm.
Oh, Matt. Yes.
That was my first thought reading that article. I was like, this guy has been donating blood every year. He saves a bunch of kids because he's
For
a
a
rare
while,
antibody. and
for a
it's-
while, I had baby blood,
Yeah.
and my granulocytes could save infants.
Oh.
And then I no longer had baby blood.
Oh, no.
So I went back to regular platelets. But when I had baby blood and they would call me and say, you've got to come in now and give your granulocytes, I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And if I had his antibodies, I would just say to everybody, oh, sorry, Jimmy Fallon, I can't go on that day because I'm saving babies. So I can't make jokes on your little show. I would be, Emily
Yeah.
just got hit with a blood donor, a bone marrow match.
Yeah, she did get matched. Yeah.
She got mad, but there's a lot of steps to
She has
go.
to do, yeah,
Yeah,
she has to
yeah,
go
yeah.
in and test.
And it's not a child. It's actually all she knows. It's a man who's 71, and so they do 8 hours of platelets. They don't do cracking into your pelvis.
They don't.
Okay.
No, if it's babies, they crack into your pelvis.
Okay.
But I'm still hoping to get hit, because boy, if you're hit, I would tell you, I may be insufferable now. But only because you can't imagine how insufferable I would be if I were a bone marrow match and had it taken from my pelvis, and it really hurt, and it made my life worse for like a few weeks. Oh, I would walk into every room. I would say, hey, yeah, I'm wearing a swastika on my arm. Who cares? I saved a baby. I'm not wearing underwear. I have a fuck you armband. I saved a baby. Oh, you didn't? Okay, maybe you should shut the fuck up. That's what I'm thinking.
James Harrison,
James Harrison, yeah.
Yeah.
He's American?
an Australian fellow who's saved an estimated 2.4 million children.
What did he do afterwards?
1,173 blood donations.
And then he invented chia pets.
Also, poisoned all the water.
Yeah. Peed on people's feet in line at Disneyland. He has plasma. His plasma contains a rare antibody that goes into anti-D, life-saving medication used to protect unborn babies.
And his quote was, "Gosh, I mean, you tell me to save one baby, that feels good. Tell me I saved millions, I can't even deal. I can't even think about it."
That was his quote.
Yeah, he's like, I can't. Saving a baby makes sense to him. Saving millions, he doesn't get at all.
Yeah, it's just it is. And going there and getting strapped in.
Yeah.
And
They don't say why he's stopping.
He's stopping because he's 83 years old.
81, yeah.
He can't go any longer.
Is that he actually
legally mandated cutoff age for giving blood in his country. So he could move and continue to give blood
He's not willing to move to save babies.
his dad on his deathbed said, "Don't save more than 3 million children."
Flatline.
That was it.
Promise me.
Promise that you won't save more than 3 million children. So he's cutting it off.
Now there's
sad because as phlebotomists, we could have had a shot at him.
Oh boy. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
so United Blood Services,
Yeah.
UBS, has said that they have to do all this red tape.
Yeah.
But if they hire us, they can train us.
Okay.
They cannot train us on our own. We cannot sign up for classes with them. But if we get jobs at Blood Services, which I think will involve us actually working hours there.
I'll go in and clean. I'll go clean your blood services.
No. You'd be a phlebotomist.
Not at first. You can't just jump into phlebotomist. You
But we are going to.
have to work your way up.
We are going to. It's going to happen. And they will work around our schedules, but we probably have to do it together. Okay. And we will go and take, and we also have, which is really great, many of the staff, the high up staff, the board of directors at Blood Services have all volunteered for us to practice on them.
So our bosses will know how bad we are at this. And you think that's good?
There was a quick poll on Twitter that was done as to who amongst the three of us people would prefer to have take our blood.
And I know that I was the bottom.
No, I was the bottom.
Oh, yeah, we were kind of the bottom.
Yeah, no, it was just Godot won by a landslide. It was like 84% for Godot. Yeah. And then you were close to last, and then I was definitely last.
Close to last.
Where did Reddy come in? Reddy,
They only put the three of us in the poll.
Sorry.
Is Reddy going to train?
are you going to train? Yeah. Jerry,
He's
you
in.
train?
All right.
Yeah, it'll
The
be.
whole
In which
team.
case, then I put Reddy above Godot.
I would put Reddy at
Possibly,
least
yeah,
tie with
sure.
Godot.
Because once it's a system.
And I would put Jera somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt you and I are fighting out on the Oh, I forgot to do. Oh, God, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're going to hear a lot of.
All right, and
Yeah.
I know step 2 is that I grab the. I don't have the thing. I don't have the thing. I don't have step 2.
It's okay if we rub alcohol on top of the knee laughter, right? You don't have to do that first.
I'll clean it up.
Clean it up.
And this, you'll feel a little prick. Okay, now I'll stick the needle in. See? Because I made a joke about my dick. Get him out of here.
Get out. You're fired. Matt got fired his first day taking blood.
But we will also, I assume, do each other,
Yeah.
which fills Godot with horror.
Yeah. Oh, good. The two worst people on the team are going to do mine.
And we will do that.
I just thought the idea that we could actually do a Blood Drive live podcast
It's amazing.
and
That's a
just
great
be
thing.
like,
And when we do the 13th,
that means like when you talk about your bone marrow donor, like anytime we run into like Mark Mayer or Adam Carolla or all these other
Yeah,
podcasts.
you guys done your
people,
blood donor one
You know,
yet?
these guys who do these huge big podcast tours, you can be like, oh yeah, how much blood you guys get donated at your thing?
how many people did you save?
How many people? Yeah.
Yeah, lives you saved.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a few laughs? Good. Glad you got the laughs. We got a few laughs,
Yeah.
but we don't really keep track of them because we try to go in how many lives we saved.
It's the same joke over and over again.
Probably some
Now, do
people.
you want to feel my little prick?
You're going to feel a little prick in your other hand. Cradle it. It's interesting, Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
but some of the people listening to your podcast their lives were saved by ours. Fascinating, isn't it, Joe?
Fascinating.
And by the way, we did go to the moon. Joe.
He's copped to that. He doesn't
Yes.
believe in it anymore, right?
But he still has people on that don't believe in it.
Well, yeah. Give them a platform.
Because anyone who wants to go into conspiracy theories, Joe Rogan happened to believe in a lot of conspiracy theories when he happened to be hosting a television show that was about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And then when that show was canceled, he kind of started to stop believing in conspiracy theories.
And right now he could believe in being a gladiator if they had him host that.
Exactly.
Like he kind of believed in fear before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Rogan is up for grabs.
He kind of likes being on TV.
But it could be, it could be a big thing,
Yeah.
Then there was this weird turn in the early part of the 21st century when podcasts and blood donation merged. And it started with Penn Sunday School.
Yeah, like we'll be telling our kids, like, podcasts used to not always get blood donations. There was not all podcasts save lives.
And it
before.
used to be you could be a phlebotomist without having your own podcast. Used to be
Seems
that
necessary now.
wasn't a requirement.
Yeah.
But now it is. So we are going to go and be be phlebotomists.
Yeah.
And many people say, I think cruelly,
Yeah.
that the only reason I want to be phlebotomist, I like the word.
So what?
So what? I
So
like
what? What's our friend's name?
Fritz Eber.
What if Fritz Heber just liked the word chemo?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Because it should be pronounced chemo, but I call it chemo.
We're absolutely going to do it. We're absolutely going to brag about it. That's what's happening. There's no humility to this at all. But we're still saving lives, so we don't care.
We don't care. Yeah. we can be big swinging dicks, and you're going to feel a little prick.
I told my wife, I was like, yeah, Penn says it's going to happen. We're actually going to train and become phlebotomists. She goes, when we move to Vegas. It's like the last thing I expected was for you to become a podcast phlebotomist. Podcaster phlebotomist.
We also have to, on top of
First broadcast phlebotomist.
The first, that's right.
that, we also have to make sure that we also become police officers. They have a podcast. They're phlebotomists. And they're cops.
That'd be great. I think we can't become cops, though, right?
I think we're too old.
Well,
Maybe detectives.
what's his name? Steven
private
Seagal.
dicks.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah.
He was a police officer.
Yeah.
And he went on raids and stuff. He showed up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the phlebotomy background we do.
No.
We're gonna have. So this is the problem.
We do.
This is our big.
Listen to you.
It's our big weight loss.
I know. Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You do not say you're working on it before you get it, because as far as I'm concerned, I've got all the dopamine hits
Oh, yeah.
that I'm going to get from being a phlebotomist. Why bother?
Right.
Because I bet there's arithmetic, and I bet there's procedure stuff we have to do.
Yeah,
I
seems
bet there's a
likely.
lot of stuff we have.
I'm scared about a background check, but yeah.
Do you have vampire in your background?
Talk to me about your Uncle Vlad.
It'd be pretty great. And that would be like, if we do that,
Yeah.
we would, in every intro, the only podcast entirely hosted by a phlebotomist.
Which might not be true. We don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
We're the first ones going this way.
That's right.
There could be a bunch of phlebotomists who just went to Best Buy right now and bought
Just to beat us.
Yeah, it just bought some recorders and stuff. We'll probably be the most famous phlebotomists who have a podcast.
Well, actually, John Edwards
Yeah.
is a phlebotomist.
Okay.
He was a phlebotomist, and also a lead singer for some band. The woman in some band is a phlebotomist.
I don't know if you
Some
laid
band.
that to rest by
That
saying
is
some
not-
singer in some band.
I forgot the name of the band, but it's like a shock punk band.
Okay.
Like, that dress up in like bloody clothes and stuff.
You looking that up? You typing
Yes,
in
I am
lead singer
famous.
phlebotomist?
No, I'm writing famous phlebotomist.
Famous phlebotomist.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know.
That's right.
It's according to schmoop.com.
If you're going to find out,
Top 10 phlebotomists.
if you're going to find out that Tom Cruise is a phlebotomist, I'll be really bummed.
Oh, I know.
Chances of that are zero, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you count getting thetans out of people's blood.
Is it thetans or thetans?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think South Park said thetans, so I say thetans.
Good, and they're right.
No, I can't find famous phlebotomists.
No, but
What happened
one of the
to the
things you came
internet?
up
The
with
internet's
famous
broken.
phlebotomy quotes. I don't have any yet, but it says there are going to be some. Phlebotomy T-shirts, phlebotomy quote.
Oh, here's the article. It says some woman in some band.
Yeah, she's the lead singer. She's a phlebotomist. But I also know that John Edwards is a phlebotomist, or was a phlebotomist. I believe he gave up phlebotomy to talk to the dead. I don't know why you can't do both at once.
Michael Bolton's coming as a hit.
Is phlebotomy?
I don't know. I'm going to look at it right now. This is according to Wikipedia. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have.
Let's see. I don't know.
I am. Well,
Maybe someone in his family was. I don't know. I put lead singer phlebotomist, and first it was Michael Bolton. So whoever that lady is in that band really's got to get her internet search shit together. Because I don't know. There's so many words.
let's move on.
This has been a dead end here.
Can we leave it that we're excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we're really, really excited
Yeah.
that there's phlebotomy in our future.
I really want to do this.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. We have to stay on the long-suffering Laura because she's our liaison
Okay.
to
Okay.
the United Blood Services to
Fantastic.
go in phlebotomy. You know the one over on Charleston,
Yeah.
by Charleston and Rainbow?
Yeah.
We went over there with a box of mosquitoes once. We were talking on a TV show.
That's where we'll be. That's where we'll be studying.
It's us again.
Hi, we're back.
Now, you're a blood donor.
I haven't in a while, but
You're
yes.
a blood donor.
I have been, yeah.
Yeah, you're a blood donor.
13 Bloody Days of Christmas.
Good. So, Jared, blood donor? Tried and failed. So we can all practice on each other.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get a home kit.
Home phlebotomy. But I want to hurry because fairly soon they'll have synthetic blood.
Right.
And then phlebotomists will be out of
Thing of the
Unemployed.
past. That'll just be a really fun word to have on our business cards.
When you go in for auditions and give your 8x10 and your resume, and it says special skills, stage combat,
Scuba diving.
Juggling.
phlebotomy.
You should give it to him with blood drops on it. Splotches.
Acoustic guitar, parentheses, chords.
And then you could go in and they'd say, well, it's interesting. We have this part for a phlebotomist.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to actually, I'd do everything, sure.
That happened to my mother-in-law for knitting. They're like, we're casting someone who can knit, but the director really hates people fake knitting. So can you come in and actually...
And that's all he hates. He is so comfortable with the clan.
He's tolerant as tolerant could be.
Yeah, but
He's
fake
a big
knitting.
freedom of speech guy.
Big freedom of speech guy. And but the Nazis marching, he's fine.
One false popcorn stitch, and he just lights the place on fire. Just hates life.
I hate people with empty coffee cups.
Oh, yeah. The coffee cup.
Empty coffee cups just sticks in my craw.
Yeah.
How do you feel about empty suitcases, Carrie?
Yeah, I don't notice it as often. I don't notice it, so maybe it's not bad. But the coffee cups, every single time I go, well, fuck this show.
You must
Couldn't put coffee, couldn't water?
you must hate mimed juggling. Like
No.
Improvisers doing juggling or people pretending to juggle.
No, we're used to it because that's how everybody identifies us. You know, they point
yeah.
and do the move when
Yeah.
they see you go by.
Where do you guys go? Where do you guys ever done
Hell.
stuff involving bananas?
How could you possibly know that? What do you mean?
I was surprised at how much of a huge topic this was. I was backstage at Opium last
Right.
night, and I brought up bananas, and suddenly like everyone moved to me like with like gravity, like just like gravitated towards me, and we're like all sharing their thoughts on like shopping for bananas, getting bananas ready for your tricks. Like if you have a trick involving a banana is a very difficult.
Well, you have the
fruit.
people that spit in each other's mouths.
We have one act that does that, yeah. And then I'm touring with Piff. He does stuff with bananas.
Yeah.
And so like the first thing you do, we get all of our shit down, go backstage, and we look at whatever the bananas were that have been procured for us, and evaluate whether or not this is an all hands on deck emergency. To get better
Someone's got to
bananas.
find bananas.
We
Someone's
used
gotta
to
find bananas.
I
have
do apples. It's
We used to
Yeah.
have in our
a problem.
rider. In our rider, we had to have a duck. And one place, I think I told this before. One place we said, "Where's the duck?" And they said, "In the refrigerator." And there was a fully dressed duck ready to cook. And we said, no, this is not part of our food rider. Show rider. We need a live duck. So they said, "Oh, terribly sorry, we can't get a duck now." And our crew, because it's the Penn and Teller crew, said, "Is there a park around here?" And they were told there was a park, and they came back with a duck. So that duck had a story to tell.
That was it. They're talking about like someone's like, in my bit, I have to have an audience member open a banana themselves. So like if it's not if it's not ripe yet, it's really hard to open. If it's too ripe, and so someone says if you just open one peel and there's like a bruise, the audience just recoils in horror when they see like one bruise on a banana. It was like all this banana stuff. I was like, I've never realized how much showbiz talk there is around bananas.
Bananas could be in big trouble because bananas have no genetic diversity.
Right.
So the bananas could be a big.
But I've heard about
I think
their
that's
impending
not necessarily
doom.
true. I think we've already lost the main species of banana, but there are others now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There's
I think.
the mainstream banana.
If you go to the Pacific
I think this is from
Islander
a radio
market,
lab of
there are a lot of different bananas.
8 years ago.
What's that?
I think this is from Radio Lab from like 8 years ago. But I remember hearing about the impending doom of bananas,
Right.
Because of what you were saying.
Yeah.
They're clones and not.
Right.
They're not offspring. They're clones.
The Cavendish.
Yeah. And
What was that word you said?
I think they're Cavendish bananas.
I think he's right.
I think that's the variety.
I want to call him on it, but I think he's right.
But also, have you found that there's better
We
ways
can look it up.
to eat a banana?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, we eat bananas upside down,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is crazy, because the monkeys are right. The monkeys are right. Smash. And that was Matt's last part.
And he
He's
went,
still driving around town just screaming at everyone.
he went running into the wilderness, and we never saw him again.
The monkeys are right. But if you listen closely, sometimes in the woods.
One of the ooh, ooh, ooh sound rather Springsteen.
Here's what I want to know about bananas. Before the invention of synthetic oil, was the banana peel the most slippery substance on earth?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I happen to know my friend Mickey Lynn. I love this so much.
Yeah.
My friend Mickey Lynn realized he had never seen someone slip on a banana peel. And he thought it was just something made up in a cartoon.
Yeah.
So he took a banana peel and he put it on a linoleum floor in front of him.
Yeah.
And he walked up to it, stepped on it, and almost broke his back. He flipped straight up in the air, came right down, and really, really hurt himself. I mean, really hurt himself, slipping on a banana peel that he'd set up by himself.
That is, that's a man of science.
And then I also, when I was a child, like 12 or 13 years old,
Yeah.
I'd seen people in cartoons step on rakes and get hit in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And we had this, hard tonged
Yeah.
rake
Yeah.
that my dad had left
right
in the
angle
backyard.
ones, yeah, sure.
And I said, I don't think that would actually. So I stepped on the rake fairly hard and had this wicked bad nosebleed. My whole face cut up. And my dad said, what happened? And I said, I stepped on a rake. And he said, well, didn't you see it? I said, well, I did it on purpose. That's when my dad knew he had a very special child. So slipping on a banana peel on purpose is pretty great.
I'm curious, yeah.
But grapes are supposedly more dangerous than...
At grocery stores, I think grapes kill more people.
Is it like
Grapes
just laugh and look at bananas and be like, you're going down for this, right? Set you up, buddy. Like that.
The monkeys are right!
The monkeys are right. We're eating them upside down. You idiots. Like those things, like seltzer to the face, pies to the face, slipping on banana peels. Like I find that like younger kids those aren't ubiquitous to them.
Right. It's horrible.
And
It's a great loss.
And that's the thing. And you're like, I don't even know how to explain, because I think maybe I was the last generation it was ubiquitous too.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to explain. I'm like, no, because you put the cartoons, you put a banana peel on the ground. Like I don't know the origins of them or where they were culturally that you would seltzer someone in the face. I just know that's a thing.
Well, the Stooges, seltzer's good.
Yeah.
Seltzer's really good.
I own one of the big old style seltzer bottles.
Yeah, which has a name.
Oh, does it? Oh.
Yeah.
Cavendish?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Cavendish, but no.
It's called like a, what is the name for a seltzer bottle? There's a name.
Uh-oh.
There's a name for a
We're
seltzer
typing.
bottle.
You sent us typing on our way.
Yeah.
Mine just took me right back to Michael Bolton.
Soda siphon.
Siphon bottle.
Siphon, yeah.
Siphon bottle.
Siphon.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the Soda Stream is just a large,
Yeah, it's a fancy version.
fancy version.
Yeah.
But I bought a big siphon too, and I loved it. And we had a little marathon. We watched a lot of Stooges, and then at the end we had a pie fight. Pie fights are really dangerous.
Yeah.
They screw up your eyes, they break your glasses, and you slip and slide
Yeah.
all over the place.
The first
And
time
you
you hit
get it in
somebody
your
with a
ear.
pie, it's hard to control your adrenaline, and it's very easy to break their nose.
Yeah. I remember we did some big.
You almost always have cream with blood in it.
We did this big.
Which, by the way, you might feel a little prick.
So we won't bring the pie in the face idea to our phlebotomy
No.
class.
No.
No, I did some
We could
fundraiser,
do a class for them.
and I was going to volunteer to get a pie in my face at 16 or something like that. And they whipped it themselves, so it ended up being like this almost like heavy whipped butter. So I basically got like 2 20-pound weights just smashed into my head.
Well, the
and it was up my nose and my ears.
Stooges-
Circus Secret, you're about to.
Stooges use shaving cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always use shaving.
That's the
Where
secret.
were you guys in 1992?
You
Yeah.
don't know exactly what day.
Probably we were handling shaving cream pies. The monkeys were right.
Monkeys!
Yeah, when you eat a banana right, it's an amazing experience.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because you have a stick. It has a built-in stick to hold.
Just tell Kurt Cameron that. Did you do a whole thing on the banana? Also, Ray Comfort, right?
Yeah, Ray Comfort is his assistant in that, yes.
Ray Comfort and Kurt Cameron.
Well, their claim now is that they were joking, that was a joke.
I know. I talked to Ray. Here's what I want to talk to you about. So Ray Comfort, who's this Christian guy,
Yeah.
who makes his money being a Christian guy.
Yeah.
He was going to debate Lawrence Krauss,
He's not the one who. Someone sent us fruit. Wasn't it a Christian guy who sent us fruit
maybe.
at the old studio?
Yeah. And Ray Comfort was in D.C., and he was debating Lawrence Krauss. And Lawrence Krauss asked if Penn Jillette and Paul Provenza could be in the room while he was debating. And he had done this thing where he had his argument all set, and then made no attempt to listen to what Lawrence Krauss was saying. There's no answer to this. That magazine was created by somebody, right? Yeah. So, haha, there's a God. And Lawrence Krauss answered him beautifully on everything, and just as though he were talking to the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So afterwards, we walk out, and Provenza and I are in the parking lot, right? And he starts talking to me about how the banana thing was a joke, right? So Provenza says, we are both professional comedians. Do your stick for us. If it was a joke, show us how it's... So you had to be in context. Provenza said, that's never true. If you have a structured joke, you can explain the structured joke to a professional comedian. We're not asking you to get the laugh on it. We're just asking what the routine was. Tell us. Because, there are writers' rooms, and comedians talk about comedy. It's
Yeah.
not mysterious.
No.
We can talk about it. You're not going to get a laugh because you're laying out the joke. But you can certainly...
But you'll say you're going to get the laugh
Yeah.
because you're saying this, or you're going to get the laugh because...
Here's where it crosses up.
this
Here's
happened.
where it gets funny.
Here's the change.
Yeah.
Here's the shift. Here's the setup. Here's the 1, 2, boom, change it. Rule, break the rule. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And he couldn't do that. And we're talking to him. Then he starts asking me these. You can't answer that. How do you know you have shoes? That kind of, those kinds of things. So afterwards, he says to me, "I want to use this in my movie." And I said, "No, you can't. I wasn't prepared to do that. I don't want you to sell your movie using my name. You can't do that." So then he starts writing me tweets that say, "I want to use," and then he starts writing to our office and saying, "You are afraid that your argument is so weak you don't want it in a movie." And Glenn writes back to him and goes, "No, we don't want you using the movie. If you think that's the reason, fine, but you're not allowed to use it." Right? Not allowed to use it, not allowed to use it. And then he tweets me some more. "This is your last chance to have it used in the movie. Look,
Oh, no.
I'll even show you the cut." No, I don't want to see the cut. I don't care how good I look in it. No, I don't want to be in your movie. But you talked to me after I talked to you as a human being, and you had cameras running, and you had no right to do that. You have a release from Lawrence Krauss, and the release has a lot of things with it that you can't take certain stuff out of context. You have no release from me. You aren't allowed to use that. And you actually have express permission before you express directions before talking to me that you're not allowed to use this. So there's no way this is fair use. There's no way it's anything. Don't use it. Can't use it. No, but I really, really want to. You wanting something does not make it true. By the way, never mind. So you can't use it. So the movie just came out. Guess who's in it? Yeah.
What?
He just used it.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it?
Yes.
That he wants something, so he takes it. At least I'm in the trailer. I didn't watch the goddamn movie.
Right.
And the goddamn is chosen very carefully there.
Well, that's
'Cause I'll tell you
upsetting.
one thing. On the very, very, very slim chance there's a God,
Yeah.
that God hates Ray Comfort more than he hates Fritz Heber.
Yeah. Heaven or hell's easy on this one.
Easy. It's easy that his ass is going to hell. It's so easy that his ass is going to hell. But we got a lot more to talk about because I saw 2001,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A Space Odyssey, in the unrestored version.
Yeah, we got none of the things we promised. Only the T-bone.
No, we got nothing else. We got a lot to talk about.
Well, next you'll have the same intro then.
Yeah,
That'd
same
save
intro.
us all that time.
Yeah, yeah. And we know the title of this one.
That's right. The monkeys were right.
The monkeys were right. That was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha cha cha.
And to our listening ears,
You become naked like a monkey. So is it just the underbite that makes you look like Springsteen?
Yeah, or maybe it's just like a Jersey quality. That just
Is it underbite? What does that mean?
The bottom teeth come out farther than the upper teeth.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, I know.
It's just an overbite.
No.
A little slight overbite. I find overbites really sexy, by the way.
His are from steroids. I don't know what mine's from.
Are they from steroids?
Probably.
That does that and pushes your jaw?
Yeah, most athletes who abuse steroids end up getting braces and stuff.
You know we love you. We phlebotomists.
Yeah, nice paper today.
Wow.
Genu torturers.
Gender torturers, yes. Gender torturers. Their lead singer is a phlebotomist. How'd you find that out?
It's on the chat.
Ah, good.
And yes, it's Cavendish.
Yeah. Gotta feel good, Goodell.
And the old one was Gross Michelle or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because of that freaking whatever podcast I was
Gross.
listening
It
to
meant
on,
big.
every time someone brings up time travel, the first thing I think of is trying bananas. It's like, oh, if I went back to the 50s, I'd love to. First thing I do is just find a banana and just eat the big.
Forget
different-
killing Hitler. I'm having a banana.
Sorry, Hitler. Banana Hitler. Banana Hitler. Banana Hitler.
Yeah, only got time for one thing.
Stand by for the Wednesday episode, everybody.
The world before Cavendish.
Anybody need to pee?
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember. I went last time and something disqualified me. And I can't remember what it was.
Screaming the monkeys are right.
Yeah. I think I'd just taken medicine or something like that that made me disqualified.
You're going to feel probably aspirin. No,
Yeah.
that's only for platelets. You're going to feel a little prick.
I always get crazy
You're going
looks.
to hear a little prick first, though. Hi.
I always get crazy looks when they ask the sex questions because I have to think about the answers.
Well, what I said that really made them laugh is, have you ever paid for sex? And I went, you can do that? Or I also answer, yes, with every fiber of my soul. But now you do it all on computer, so you don't get to talk to them.
Oh.
Isn't that Fritz Heber story amazing?
It is.
This is Penn
I didn't do the Dennis Miller.
I didn't know you had it. Sorry.
If you like this podcast, check out the Dennis Miller option. Yeah. Every Wednesday at Podcast One, the snarky king of comedy, babe, is back to provide his no-holds-barred opinion on current events, politics, pop culture, and whatever else is on his mind. Check out the Dennis Miller option at Podcast One and Apple Podcasts. Also remember, please rate and review. Hit it, Zubin.
This is Penn Sunday School, and to our listening ears,
Yeah.
all nature sings and round us rings the music of the spheres. This is Penn Sunday School.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Godot, and along with Matt Donnelly, we are broadcasting from the Show Creator Studios in Las Vegas.
The monkeys were right!
This week, Penn saw the unrestored version of the movie 2001 and did a Q&A for the Writers Guild of America.
I did.
Here he is today, preaching love, Mr. Penn Gillette.
You're
Both-
eating bananas upside down.
Both the same day I did those. 2001 came out when I was 13.
Yeah.
And there was a contest in the local radio station to win tickets to the premiere.
The premiere.
And I had to call up and say, I think the first astronaut to orbit or shot into space was either Shepard or Glenn.
Right.
And the first person who called in had the wrong one. And I called up at 13 and won tickets. And I was out of my mind. I was so excited. So excited. And there's an embarrassing part of this story coming up. And then I did perhaps the cutest thing any child has ever done. I screwed up my courage. It was a very hard call to make because I thought it was ungrateful and greedy. But I called up the radio station right after in a very, very timid voice and said, "Hi, this is Penn Gillette with a J, Jillette. First name, Penn, like Pennsylvania. And I just won 2 tickets to the premiere of 2001: A Space Odyssey." "Yes, Penn." "Yeah, and I would like to take both my mother and my father. So could I buy another ticket?" Is there anything cuter than that, really?
It's adorable.
And they said, "We'll give you another ticket." We'll give you another ticket. So my mom, my dad, and I went to Springfield, Massachusetts to see
In town.
long way. That's an hour drive.
Yeah.
To see 2001: A Space Odyssey, and they gave us glossy programs
Wow.
that had in it the science of 2001 and talked about artificial intelligence and talked about living in a vacuum.
Only 20 years away, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Talked about living in a vacuum. You know, how long you could live in a vacuum holding your breath, because Bowman does that going across there. And it had all this science stuff, and I read it so carefully. And the embarrassing part is it wasn't until at least 5 years later, I might have been out of high school, I was talking to someone about having been at the premiere, the world premiere of 2001, and someone said, "Where was that? New York? L.A.? London?" I said, "It was in Springfield, Massachusetts. That's where it opened." And then it slowly, and you know that embarrassment that starts filling you with
Yes.
red,
Sure.
where you feel your face getting
5 years
hot?
of confidence raised.
And I realized I wasn't at the premiere. I mean, I thought like Stanley Kubrick was there and stuff.
Oh,
I thought it was the premiere of 2001 that I was at and that I'd won tickets to on the Greenfield radio station.
Right.
And I went to that movie, and I don't think I've ever enjoyed anything more than that premiere, world premiere, by the way, in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I came back to my school, which I used to always do. I saw more movies than my friends. So my friends and I would get together and I would tell them the story. They would sit and I would tell them the whole story of the movie. And I told them all of Planet of the Apes. I told them all of 2001. And so I went with Stephen Banks.
April 2nd, 1968, at the Uptown Theater in Washington, D.C. was the actual premiere.
April 2nd, what, 1968?
Yep, 1968.
DC, you didn't miss out. DC
Yours was
premiere?
better. I bet yours was better.
Does it mention Springfield, Massachusetts?
Oddly, no.
No.
It's Wikipedia, though. We can fix it.
DC, huh?
That's what they're saying.
That's an odd one.
Yeah, it's an odd one. It's also the place the Beatles played first in the United States. DC gets a lot of stuff, but North Korea knows that, so they may be laughing on the other side of their face. So I went with Stephen Banks, Billy the Mime, Stephen Banks, SpongeBob.
This is
right?
last week. This is not in 1968.
Right. But we both talked. I mean, the first time we met, Steve and I were talking about 2001. It was my favorite movie for a long time. And then I kind of stopped saying that. And I went to Dawn of the Dead 'cause I thought it was hipper, or I went to Psycho. And we went to see the unrestored version, which means it was 70 millimeter print, not digitally restored. So there were marks on the film. And it was exactly the way it was presented originally, which means there was an overture. And there was a 15-minute intermission that's built into the film.
Wow.
The film runs the 15 minutes, and there's music during that. And the act break for the intermission is at an incredible moment. It's a beautiful moment. It's right after they've talked in the pod, and you see Hal looking at their lips. And when did you first see 2001?
1968, I believe.
Yeah,
As a kid, I went
you'd
and
have
saw
been
it.
10 or something.
Yeah, I was a little kid, yeah.
And did you see an opening?
No, I don't believe I
But
did.
you saw it at a big proper
I remember
theater.
seeing it at a theater, yeah.
Now, Matt Donnelly, you're young.
Yes.
When did you first see it? TV or something awful?
Rented it on from the video store or whatever.
You have no
2000.
understanding of what it would be like to see it.
None.
70 millimeter.
None. Even then, it was like my older brothers got it, and I was too young to see it to really get it.
I'll tell you, it is
I have not watched it with adult eyes.
maybe the only movie I have ever seen that I felt that 70 millimeter in the theater was what it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Not a book. It's not supposed to be a book.
Right.
Because movies, if you care what the people are thinking, a book is always better.
Right.
You always want a book to see the internal choices.
That's an interesting standard.
It's hard to think of a movie where you really want to watch what's happening without knowing what anyone's thinking.
Right.
It also has, although it's in space, the most natural conversation and acting. It's mundane.
Yeah, it is.
Also, the pacing of it, that slow pacing, is so good. People who say that movie's slow as a criticism just don't understand it. It puts you right there in the place. And the long psychedelic acid session that people say is too long, it's not too long.
That might be a factor of seeing it in a theater, though.
And the plot is very, very clear. People who say they can't understand what it's about, crystal clear. Crystal clear to a 13-year-old, crystal clear to an adult. And so beautiful. And no music, no score at all to it. Now, I want to make it very clear what I mean. There is Strauss,
Yeah.
there's Khachaturian, and there's Ligeti, and there's somebody else, I think. But those are the three major ones.
Right.
That's all pre-existing music that they cut the movie to. It is not bringing in, and Hal kills the people in their sleep, and boom,
Right.
boom, none of that. During the horrible, exciting sequences, there is no sound at all. And there is a pristine, and the use of white in the movie and the use of light in the movie and the important things it deals with. I mean, it is the story of Eve and the Tree of Knowledge, which is something we care about, how we find knowledge. And, of course, the fact that what nobody knows. Did you know that the year that 2001 came out, the winner for special effects makeup, went to Planet of the Apes.
I was going to say.
And the reason was that people did not know that those were people in the suits in 2001.
Really?
The people didn't know. And Stephen Banks talks about going to see that movie and hearing people with a family and hearing a father say to his son, yes, those are real baboons that they have doing that. You cannot tell they're people. And they are manipulating the mouths with their tongues. And the lead mime who plays Moonwatcher was at the time a heroin junkie, which you could legally be in England. And there's only 2 shots in the whole movie that are shot outside. Everything else is a soundstage. And one of them is when Moonwatcher throws the
bone, yeah.
the bone in the air. That's outside. And then the other one, I don't know.
Nice.
And John Landis, the director,
Yeah.
John Landis, I went to see it with him too. And John Landis, dig this, because John Landis is a Hollywood kid.
Yeah.
He grew up in Hollywood. His friend's father was Stanley Kubrick's accountant or lawyer, I guess. And so try to imagine this. 8 months before the movie came out, so no press had hit at all, nothing, okay? And did not know the title of the movie. John Landis, who was 16 or 17, and his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend and her boyfriend, 4 of them, plus his friend's father and 4 of his friends, watched it in a theater 8 months before it came out, totally cold,
Whoa.
including the overture beforehand with an empty screen, which they had no idea what they were seeing.
Yeah.
And then it's monkeys. And they're watching the monkeys for all this time. Then they're in space. And then they're in a psychedelic trip. He said he had no idea. Can you imagine seeing that movie cold?
No.
It's every part of it has become part of our vocabulary.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's like nobody learned from that movie at all. I cannot think of a movie that really does. I mean, that is an art installation movie.
Yeah.
The way it uses music, it is a symphony with pictures that tells you a story that is told in the perfect form. And it does not do, you watch a full 3 minutes of like the lunar landing.
Yeah.
You watch the flight attendant walking forever
Right.
in the Velcro
It
shoes.
does the stuff that only movies can do. It is really perfect for its art form.
And I'm going to finally become bold again and say that it is my favorite movie.
Nice.
It's the only, and then what drives me crazy is to compare it to Star Wars or Star Trek is the biggest insult in the world. They're just doing cowboy movies.
Yeah.
They learn nothing from it
Right.
at all. And I also judge a movie because it needs to be profound to a 13-year-old, but still an adult can think of it. And that is what 2001 is. And going to see it with Stephen Banks. And oh, by the way, I had full popcorn, full greasy popcorn and Milk Duds, and I enjoyed it.
Just going for the full theater experience.
I had the full theater experience. And then I went to the Writers Guild right afterwards.
Directly from there.
Yep. Directly from 2001 to the Writers Guild.
WGA, and
Yep.
you know how much they love us.
Yeah. And to show my movie. And the guy who was interviewing me was a real screenwriter. And isn't it awful? I don't have his name written down right here. Great screenwriter. And he said to me, I'm going to watch the movie with the audience and decide on my questions during that. I'm not going to screen it ahead of time and prepare questions. I'm just going to do it right then, which is just, what I would do because it's a way to be lazy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to watch the stupid
I
movie
got
twice.
twice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to sit through it anyway.
Yeah, so might as well do that. So he came up on stage
The end of the movie.
at the end of the movie.
Sure.
A lot of applause. Here he is, the writer and star and producer of Director's Cut. Here is Penn. And he picked up his mic and said, "What the fuck? That was his first question.
And your answer was?
I gave the entire Q&A. That was the only question he asked. I explained that what I've been saying about Director's Cut is the Penn and Teller show, I'm trying really hard to make everybody like it. And Director's Cut was made for a very specific audience. But man, the people who like Director's Cut, they wicked like it. Because if you like Director's Cut, it's not like you can say, well, it was a little bit better or worse. Than there's nothing else like it. So I'm pretty proud of it that way. But some people don't get it. That's what it's supposed to. No one's coming.
You know that, right? You know that you've made a movie that some people won't get, and yet when they make that opinion known, does it bother you?
Yes, of course. Of course. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a movie exactly on my terms, very specifically for this small group of people that I wanted the world to say, but Penn, you were wrong.
Everyone loves it.
all
Bigger
love
than
it.
Avengers. By a lot. We all love it. You misunderstood, Penn.
Yeah.
You wrote a movie for yourself, and guess what? Everybody on Earth loves that movie, and you know something else? They love you. That's what I wanted out of that, of course. Yeah, whenever you do something crazy, you're always disappointed when you actually do it.
Yeah.
You've done that, right? You've done something that's
Plenty of stuff,
done a bit for yourself and said, oh, it's
Nobody laughs at that. One person, a year later, will go, hey, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Really?
And
You saw that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you thought maybe I'm wrong and maybe everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Everybody will love
Well,
it.
you know, the thing that I noticed, the one for me was I one time in the show I did a joke about the 500 hats of Bartholomew Cubbins. And of
That
course,
went over like
no one laughed.
gangbusters.
No single laugh at all. And I thought, man, that was the cleverest, funniest joke I have ever made, and nobody laughed. 5 years later, a lady went, I was at your show, and you did this hysterical Bartholomew Cubbins joke. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. It's just the greatest. That was the greatest joke. And no
And
one
that
had
woman's
laughed.
your wife?
Yeah, she had never. No, I don't know who the woman was, unfortunately, but she laughed. She claims hysterically at the time. I don't remember anybody laughing.
I will tell you, 10 years ago, 10 years ago last week, Robbie Libin wrote a joke. We used to do a thing with a newspaper tear, and I would read the news while we were tearing it up. That was the day. And we had jokes in the news. We had a lot of good jokes there.
Yeah.
A lot of jokes people liked. Most of them written by Robbie Libin, some of them by me. And Robbie Libin wrote a joke 10 years ago that I could not stop laughing at. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I did it every night for 2 years and never once got a laugh. The audience hated it, but we didn't care. It was at the aquarium in Oregon, oceanographers are very worried about the dead sea lions. That's funny. I always thought the Dead Sea Lions was an Israeli football team. Dead Sea Lions, Israeli football team, kills me.
Yeah.
When that turn happens in my mind from Dead Sea Lions to Dead Sea Lions,
Yes.
I'm hysterical laughing. The audience never liked it. Now I told that I've told that to you, right?
Yes.
And your partner loved it, right?
Yeah.
Paul
Followed it right away.
loved that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever
That's
like
a great
that?
joke.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
The Dead Sea Lions.
It is, yeah. In Opium, there's a thing where a woman and a robot fall in love, and then there's like we put in this like musical montage in the show, and the first thing he does is, and their little montage is like there's like a spinning stage. They just come on and they come off, and they come on and they come off, And so the first thing is her trying to struggle opening a jar, and he does the whole mantra like, "Don't worry, I got it for you, honey," and he grabs the jar and then just holds it up to his teeth. And he goes, and he runs runs his mouth like a can opener and opens the jar of pickles with his teeth. And I was like, I helped create that. And I was like, I love this so much. The like robot doing the manly thing, but then doing it like a robot. It never gets a laugh. Not one fucking laugh. Never
And
once.
is it a magic trick?
I mean, the pickle jar opens and it works.
In an odd way.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like he's bitten across the top.
Yeah, like he's open. Yeah, like he's been across the top like a can opener.
Yeah.
And it opens up and everything. And then there's then the next montage. The rest of it gets a laugh. So I think it still works to establish what we're doing, like, it's a typical montage, except we're going to see robot versions of it. So
I see.
he malfunctions during like a what's it called? What's that movie with Patrick Swayze? Ghost. They do like a ghost thing. Like a ghost moment. He malfunctions.
Pottery and
And then they do that thing where they might fuck, but instead he just shoves his foot and holds her airplane style and vibrates like crazy, and that gets a big laugh. So it pays off. But it just the first thing is like, no, the first thing is the most important joke. It's the most like
We have to use the best one in
I'm
this
the
spot.
masculine dude, but I'm going to do things like a robot. You know, it's like I love this joke. No one cares. Not one person
the
cares.
monkeys were right.
The monkeys were right the whole time. There's an acid trip thing that's in it that's going away, I think. So.
Oh, is the acid trip good? I love acid trips in art.
It's the only reason I was going to invite you to see the show. There's so many parts of the show I don't think you would like because of your tastes. But that part I thought you would have liked.
I do. I don't like to do drugs.
Yeah.
But I like everything in art about them. We had. There's a part of the show,
Yeah.
right, where I bring two people up on stage and shuffle up a deck and give them each half of the deck, and I memorize what cards they're holding.
Yeah.
And the hard part of that trick, my memorization, I got down. I have
Yeah.
all my mnemonic tricks for that. But the audience members have to sort about half the deck, right?
Yeah.
By clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds, and then by order, right?
Yeah.
And some people are terrible at it. And I have to do jokes because they have to have them sorted or we can't do the trick.
Yeah.
Sometimes that goes, there's like 2-minute variations on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other night, it was just this great moment. Great moment. I got a young woman up on stage, kind of punky, nose ring, tats, very skinny, which is important to the story. When I got her up on stage, she was doing all sorts of nervous stuff. She was blinking, and she was sucking her lips like this.
Right.
And I went, oh no, I've got someone on stage who's tweaking. She was clearly speeding.
Right.
And, I don't know much about drugs, but I know you can tell alcohol from speed.
Yeah.
And you can tell speed from ecstasy. And you can tell
Right.
speed from barbiturates. And she was speeding. She was tweaking. And I went, oh, I should probably get her back to her seat because she's really nervous. And I said, wait a minute. I am giving the perfect task for a speed freak. And I said, sort these cards. Laser attention. She looked as happy as any person. If the trick had been simply bring me on stage, have me sort a deck of cards, it was great. Because a friend of mine who was at MIT
Yeah.
and was talking about they had been doing some studies of illegal pharmaceuticals. And he said, which I thought was a great thing, he said, if you want to tell if someone's on speed, a lot of speed, take a box of cornflakes, dump them out in front of them, and say, count those for me, would you? And if they right away go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and count the cornflakes, you know someone is seriously on speed. That kind of focus, attention to detail, nothing makes them happier. So I believe, instead of asking, which I do, anybody know how to handle a deck of cards? Like anybody play bridge
Right.
and can sort a deck? I should say, anybody tweaking? Anybody tweaking heavy, like Johnny Cash people here? Anybody on serious speed? Because if you've taken a couple, 5 or 6 trucker speeds, if you have those pills on board, you're going to love this trick. Come on up here. She was the best we've ever had at that.
You should just have like a cornflake counting table on the way in.
Yeah.
And then just like draw them out.
Hey, want to count this? Want to count the cornflakes?
Who wants to count cornflakes? Come on over here, count some cornflakes before you head into the show.
And now you get a wristband. You counted a whole box of them. You're covered. So you're back from the Dominican Republic. Anything to report there? You were at a wedding,
I
right?
was at a wedding in the Dominican Republic 2 weekends ago. I think what's the thing is the most oddest thing to me about my experience there is that they're taught whatever instructed to so saying thank you, you're welcome, no matter how thick the accent is. They have a very clean American accent version of it is a pleasure. and they look at you dead in the eyes. So like when you get like a coffee or something like that, and you're like, "Oh, thanks." They go, "It is a pleasure," and it's always so jarring. Every time I did something, I thought it was so jarring that they yelled that "It is a pleasure" to me. Yeah, no, it was great down there, and I thought it was really fun. There was
So these weren't Dominican Republic friends of yours.
No.
They'd gone down there as a
no,
resort.
they're getting married at a resort.
Where is the Dominican Republic?
It's in the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Caribbean?
Caribbean.
I think
Caribbean?
It's Caribbean.
Caribbean, yeah.
Caribbean?
Caribbean.
It's half of Hispaniola. It's the other half of the island from Haiti. Haiti's one side.
Oh,
Dominican
really?
Republic's the other, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which means a lot of people selling you stuff on the beach.
A lot of people selling stuff on the beach.
And they're all named Johnny Cash or like the King or whatever.
What?
They give you a very memorable American name, so that when you decide that you want something from them.
Hey, it's the King. Come on over, King.
Yeah, so the next morning you can be like, "Hey, Johnny Cash, you were selling sunblock."
So they give exclusively names of people who are tweaking. Johnny Cash,
Johnny
the King,
Cash, yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah.
In your country, they love the speed. What do they sell on the beach? Oh, suntan lotion.
Suntan lotion, sunglasses.
Braid your hair.
They'll braid your hair. Handmade trinkets, handmade toys, that kind of stuff.
Did you buy any of that?
Jewelry.
No.
Did you get any snacks from people walking up and down the street?
I did not get any street snacks or
That's
anything
too
like
bad.
that.
You would eat street snacks.
They're
right?
good street snacks there, yeah.
What do you eat? In
Just
other
chicken.
countries?
The chicken would
Would you
be
call me?
great. You heard me.
You eat street chicken in the
I would eat street chicken in the Dominican Republic. Yeah,
See,
it would be the most
chicken-
delicious thing in the world.
On my diet,
Yeah.
chicken disgusts me. I haven't had
Right.
chicken for 3.5 years.
Well, then you probably don't want street chicken in the Dominican Republic.
You wouldn't start there. You wouldn't start with the old street chicken.
Did you get sick?
No.
What makes it so good, the street chicken?
That's just really good spices. They're really
Salt.
good. It's great. Yeah, it's salt and peppers and sugar probably
Yeah.
would be my guess of the three ingredients.
What other street food do you eat? Like just straight Ebola?
Yes, Ebola. You get a dish of Ebola.
E. coli? The E. coli Ebola mixture?
They also have a lot of fruit available on the streets and juices and sugar
You
cane.
would drink juice on the street in another country?
Yeah. Sure, because they're holding the fruit and they're smashing it right there in front of you and handing you a glass of it. There's no monkeying around. It didn't sit in the back room for an hour before it was given to me. They're squishing something right there.
Go ahead.
They'll take sugar. Watch sugar cane, put it straight in the machine, and then hand you a big glass of sugar.
In the machine that has been dipped in E. coli.
This is probably why I travel more than you.
I was going to say, ask me the businesses that were right outside my resort.
Yeah.
What business is outside your resort?
I have no idea.
See, I might not have made it into the resort.
I passed some marketplace or something, Lloyd.
Oh yeah, you'd have seen me over there. I'd
No.
been waving at you.
The funny thing is there was a place called Congo Bongo. It advertised in the airport and then on billboards, and then we drove by the location. It was the nightlife location for the Dominican Republic in that area. You must go to Congo Bongo. And then it said crazier than any Las Vegas nightclub, and the quote was attributed to CNN. It had that quote on the club with CNN's logo under it. But then it had like a picture of like Spider-Man and like the mask from the Jim Carrey movie. And I was like, what craziness is inside of Congo Bongo?
Should have gone. You could have known that. You'd have had the answer today.
Oh, no.
go?
I had no desire to leave my resort.
I'm looking up Congo Bongo. I'm
First off,
heading out.
my
Let's
wife
go.
couldn't attend because she got hired to do the Marilyn Monroe musical, and they're in their big tech phase. So she couldn't. She said so she couldn't go. So I ended up going by myself to the Dominican Republic.
Isn't that a perfect opportunity for Congo Bongo?
Yeah.
You'd think.
Congo Bongo sounds like
Sounds like
we want to Congo
we're a
Bongo.
single guy in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm looking for people with a tubby lumberjack fetish down in the old DR. Let's go someplace where I can't speak the language. They'll just be naturally attracted to my gray beard, my pale skin.
Congo Bongo.
Congo Bongo.
Did you find it?
Yeah. The 2,600 of the reviews are excellent, and 91 say terrible. Congo Bongo, amazing.
Congo Bongo, not Congo Bongo.
Oh.
This says Coco Bongo.
Coco Bongo?
Coco Bongo. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's it.
Now
Congo Bongo.
you also were in Calgary.
Yes.
It's a must for all ages. I'm 58 and loved it. It's worth upgrading to the Gold VIP, better seats and view less cramped. Wow,
Well, that was it, yeah.
show. It must be a show.
So I got like the cheapest room, and they're like, "Do you want to upgrade? You know, you're not in the best building. We get you in a nice, fine building, VIP pool access." I said, "I'm here by myself. My wife was here. I'd consider it, but no." I definitely was in like a building that was like right above, like I had a view of like the shed where they keep like their lawn equipment.
Yeah.
And I was definitely in like downwind of whatever the septic thing that they had going on. And I definitely was in the area where other frustrated singles were staying. It's like every night at 2 a.m. this was door slamming and shouting and screaming.
Good, nice. Ladies, be careful if you get asked to dance on the stage at the Coco Bongo if you're in a dress. They shoot air up all the time. They'll make your dress go up like Marilyn Monroe.
So it was perfect
LOL,
place for
great
your wife.
time. We would do it again all over. Great music, and Kath is amazing. So apparently Coco Bongo is a show. A combination of
You were a
nightclub
fool.
with short
I'm a
shows
fool.
every 15 to 20 minutes. The
If there's
shows
one
are
other
spectacular.
If there's one other fellow want to go with me that I could like survive this experience with, I would have. But I didn't have. It was just me and my buddy who was getting married. And
And then you were in Calgary.
yes, I did 5
But
shows.
there's so much Coco Bongo stuff. I can't imagine you're going on to anything else.
where they have ketchup potato chips,
They have ketchup potato chips.
not Congo Bongo.
No. Someone's explaining to me, and I don't know if this is correct, but Calgary is basically like the like Texas of
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
Yes.
And I found the audiences to be very Vegas-like. They weren't like cheering when you come out. They're kind of like, okay, let's go. As a matter of fact, I came out to zero applause 4 of the 5 nights that I opened for Piff. Literally, they just looked at me as I walked towards the microphone
Did they like you though?
and did not. Yes, yeah. I ended up having great shows there. But I laughed. I just started every night railing them for not even one person clapping for me. That's how I started my routine. So it was great. I liked it. They kept going afterward in the picture line, like, "I'm so sorry. We should have clapped." And I said, no. I'm starting off my show the way I'd love to. I wish I could pay like every audience not to applaud for me when I came out, so I could just start off railing them for not applauding.
And was Piff doing well?
He's doing very well.
And we
yeah.
sold out everything?
Oh yeah.
Filled up? Yeah.
He's a popular little dragon. That guy. We're gonna be in Chicago this weekend. So this comes out on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
So tomorrow night, Thursday night, we have an 13 and up. It's an all ages show, or not? It's 13.
Not
no,
all
it's not
ages.
all ages, as long as you count 13.
I'm
as the
58 and I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. So that 58-year-old who is at Congo Bongo, come out to the all ages show. Yeah, so it was 13 and up on Thursday, and then we're doing 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
Oh, that'll be nice.
It will be nice. Yeah, it's the Chicago Improv in Schaumburg. It's a very nice club. They're very excited about going back. I'm going for the first time, but I'm very excited about it.
And you're just his opening act all the time now.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. I'm. He seems happy. I like it. I'm really liking it. Yeah.
And Hillbill is going over well.
Yes.
Tricks are working now.
Tricks are working good. I have them down. Like I'm getting funnier with stuff and little things that you start to go like, oh, if I put this on my right side instead of my left side, this works better. If I place this over
Takes
here,
a long time to get a variety act right.
yeah, and it's neat to finally. I've always understood that philosophically, but now to actually start getting it in my bones and
Yeah,
thinking
once you
about
get it going,
it's really
great. It's the
fun to
greatest.
do. If I pull this out now, it gets a laugh. If I wait, it doesn't. That kind of stuff. It's really neat. It's kind of neat to figure out. As a lifelong improviser, becoming a magician is very challenging.
Yeah. But
'Cause
you
it's about being prepared and thinking 2 steps ahead.
and you learn to get good at stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And
You
then
have to bring your costume with you. Ugh.
yeah, you bring it all with you, but you also know that like, oh, I'm just going to do these steps in these orders, and then that's a half hour.
And I have
Which is neat.
25 set laughs, and I can buck around between them as much as I want. La la la, bam.
Yes.
La 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 la, bam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah. Good for you.
I think did I tell the story on air or no about the
What?
guy who said you don't need the Hillbill Act.
No.
Have I been told- so like one of the first weekends I played for Piff, the club owners, when you play comedy clubs, it's the club owners who typically pick you up or drive you around, or the
Yeah.
managers that do that. And so we were going. The hotel was practically walking distance, and then like where we went to go grab a drink afterward was definitely in the same parking lot, but he insisted on driving me anyway. And then so he did the whole like knowledgeable comedy club owner guy where he's like, "Hey, can I tell you something?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he says,
The answer to that, by the way, is no.
no, I know, but I was in his car. We're driving 50 feet. I don't know what to do. Just pull open the door and roll out. Sure. Clunk, clunk. So
The monkeys are right.
the monkeys are. Is it the monkeys are right? Oh yeah, I already know that. He said, he goes, I don't know if you need the act, man. Like you without this, you without all the thing. Like you're really funny on your own. You should think about doing this on your own. And I said, I've tried to make money as Matt Donnelly for a very long time.
He was suggesting no magic.
Yeah, no, he's suggesting no hillbilly.
No hillbilly.
Yeah, just Matt Donnelly doing magic and comedy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't think so.
The monkeys are right. Not you.
Let me ask my monkey. I'll be right back.
Now, in Calgary, you stayed at a nice hotel.
We stayed the Blackfoot Hotel.
Nice bed.
Yeah,
Not as nice as my bed,
that's true.
because I have a sleep number bed.
Yeah, I asked if they had that. They said no.
So when I get home from the road, I'm actually looking forward to my bed.
Yeah.
And if you stay in nice hotels, you don't look forward to your bed when you get home, but I do. I do. Maybe we talk about the amazing Sleep Number 360 smart beds. They're so smart they respond to your every movement and automatically adjust to you. Can you dig that? Can you dig it? I said, can you dig it? The great news is their latest smart beds are even more comfortably priced during their semi-annual sale going on now.
Right now.
So many couples disagree on mattress firmness. Sleep Number beds let you choose your ideal firmness on each side so that it's just right for both of you.
Okay.
Really nice. I like my my mattress a little firmer than my wife. Not the mattress firmer than my wife is. Firmer than my wife likes it. The bed.
Her mattress.
Yeah. You can actually feel how it contours to your neck, shoulders, back, and hips, relieving pressure points for more proper spinal alignment. There's even an adjustment for snoring. How great is that? Like that delivery?
Yeah.
How great is that? I went to a Whisper for that. How great is that?
It's great.
My Sleep Number setting is still 65, and it has Sleep IQ.
Sleep IQ.
Come in now during the semi-annual sale. See the latest Sleep Number 360 smart beds with special Memorial Day savings up to $700. Sleep Number beds are so good. They're really great. There are more than 550 Sleep Number stores. Visit sleepnumber.com/Penn to find the store nearest you. Sleepnumber.com/Penn. And remember, Sleep Number.
Sleep IQ.
Good, good, good.
And remember how firm Penn's wife is.
Yes. Now, you also have expertise. I want to talk to Matt Donnelly a lot because he's been
You
gone.
should. He's been gone for a month.
we haven't been out of here.
Haven't seen
Yeah.
him.
You also worked at Starbucks.
I did work at Starbucks.
What do you think of this new policy of...
So it doesn't surprise me at all that this company insists on going above and beyond to illustrate tolerance and letting people just stay willy-nilly in their restaurants. One is that they were started in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle. And Seattle and Portland, like they just have a different relationship with their homeless population in those cities. Like they're very kind of tolerant and knowledgeable and knowing like it's not quite the same ostracized relationship it has in other cities I've been in. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Because I remember even at Starbucks in San Diego, we'd always have homeless drug addicts come in and just basically go up and stay at this comfy seat. They take a cup out of the garbage, bring the cup up for whatever a refill was. If you brought your own cup into Starbucks at the time, I think it was like 50 cents or something like that. And they just sit all day in the chairs. And at closing, like it was still like the manager was very much into like making sure that I understood, like you cannot be, mean in any way. We have to get everybody out of here. We have to get them to go, but we can't just kick them out. We can't blatantly kick them out. Like we just don't do that here. So when all this kind of ruckus started, I was not surprised that Starbucks was reacting the way that it was going.
But if that was already their policy, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't change their policy.
No, I remember specifically I was in Upper Montclair.
Now, if someone came in just to use the restroom, would anybody stop them?
No.
No.
I remember like kids came in. I was at Upper Montclair, and like teenage kids thought it was really funny. They came with a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts. They came with Dunkin' Donuts cups. Big Dunkin' Donuts cups and big Dunkin' Donuts bags. And they sat in the corner and they just set up their big Dunkin' Donuts shop and just sat there like giggling.
Dunks.
Yeah, waiting to their invasion of Starbucks had begun, And the manager just said, I was young and I was like, what the fuck's going on? These little wise ass kids. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
The manager was like, we will leave them alone until they leave. They will get bored and they will go. And I was like, what? And yeah, they hung out for like an hour and then they left.
Your manager is so wise.
Yeah, but she was like, don't. It's like, we don't do that. Like, we just don't do that. And so it was very much like, let them go.
You worked at a Starbucks managed by Gandhi?
Yes, yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Mrs. Gandhi.
And I went to pull the the company gun out of the drawer, and she stayed my hand.
I went on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno,
Yeah.
and almost every show you go on, they give you a package of gifts. Okay? And I was very excited that, because Jay Leno always gave gifts that were interesting. So in Jay Leno's gifts, like when you go on, I'd read, okay, you know poppycock? The caramel
Oh, yes.
popcorn
Yes,
with the
yes.
stuff in it. I had heard that Sinatra gave poppycock to all his friends at Christmas. That was the kind of thing. He gave the most expensive Cracker Jacks you could get.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy Sinatra was.
Yeah.
So I was excited about celebrities who have a favorite kind of food. Now, Neil Gaiman
Yeah.
sends honey from his own apiary,
Whoa.
which I think is the hippest thing in the world.
That's the hippest.
You know, Neil Gaiman wins every front.
Always.
Always. There's nothing that Neil Gaiman doesn't win. And even Christmas presents he wins.
Yeah.
His own apiary honey. Honey from the Gaiman apiary. Oh, so great. Soon we'll be able to send people blood that we've drawn ourselves. What'd you get for Christmas from Matt Donnelly? Bag of blood?
With a blood pudding recipe.
Yeah, nice. Did
Maybe we should get the bags shaped like their initials.
you ever have blood
He
pudding?
sent me a J bag of blood.
Did you ever have blood pudding?
Yes.
It's pretty good.
I find it to be good.
It's salt.
Yeah. It's salt, textured salt goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me sick now, but I liked it at the time. So we were on the Jay Leno show, and he gives us a nice bag of gifts. I mean, other people give you just cups with their names on it, a T-shirt with their name on it,
Yeah.
and a bag with their name on it.
Yeah.
You know, but Jay Leno would actually give you stuff. So there was this pie. And
Pie?
I went, boy, there's a pie. Jay Leno's given us a pie. I bet he searched far and wide for the best pie possible. I bet this is some particular baker, probably in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
who makes a kind of pie that Jay Leno once touring found and said, boy, this is a really good pie. I would like you, Wisconsin man, to make just
Mail me 40 pies a week.
40 pies that
Yeah.
I will give to all my guests. And they will know how good this pie is. And they will enjoy it as a special Jay Leno gift. So Stephen Banks was at that taping, and a couple other of my stooge friends. And we're in L.A. I finished doing the show, the Jay Leno show. It had gone well. And I had my little bag of goodies, which I always just give to Glenn. Well, you take these, put them somewhere. I don't know where they go. They go somewhere. But this, I rat-holed the pie away. I took it in my own little hands. And I
Is
said,
this like a big whole like Marie Calendar sized pie, or is it a? Okay, sorry, sorry.
very
back.
careful what you're saying.
Just
I'm curious.
keep
I'm
eye
just-
contact and keep walking backwards.
I will have to.
I know.
I will have to beat you.
I get it.
It is a full-size pie,
Wow.
which I believe is from a mysterious place in Wisconsin,
Okay.
Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. Port Curada, an Indian name. And this is going to be a kind of pie, maybe mystery rhubarb with extra goodness.
Yeah.
Some great pie.
Kind of berry you haven't heard of.
Yeah, gooseberry. And so I take the pie and I say to Stephen Banks and whoever else was around, I said, I want to go enjoy this pie somewhere. So I went to a Starbucks and I walked up to the counter and said, we did not buy this pie here. Jay Leno gave us this pie. It was made by somebody wonderful, I'm sure. We would like to buy coffee to go with our pie. We would also like to pay you a corkage fee. If I give you $20 right now, would you give us some plates and some forks that we can enjoy the pie, which we did not buy here? And the person behind the counter said, "Oh, no, that'd be fine." And I go, "Here, take the $20, put it in your tip jar. Please, corkage fee." And then we would like coffee all around to enjoy this very wonderful pie. And I take the pie and I sniff it. I put it down. I say to Stephen Banks, "This pie was found by Jay Leno." And we take our knife and we cut it. And I take a piece out and I take a taste of it and I go, "Yeah, this is the best pie I've ever had." By the way, in a generic box, nothing giving away what it was. No little card that says from Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, pie capital of the universe.
Just
Nothing like that.
your special senses.
Yeah. But so I take a mouthful of pie and I go, "This is really good. This is the best pie I ever had." I'll say, Jay Leno, he was probably the best comic in Boston in 1981, and also the man knows pie. Like Elvis, he knew sandwiches. Deep fried peanut butter banana sandwich is a fine
good.
sandwich. And young women wrestling in their underwear, also good. Elvis knew stuff. Jay Leno knows stuff. Jay Leno knows pie.
Yeah.
Elvis knew sandwiches. Jay Leno knows pie. I take a mouthful of the pie. Stephen Banks cuts the pie, takes one bite, and goes, "It's razzleberry from Marie Callender's." I go, "No, it's not razzleberry from Marie Callender's. This is a special pie that Jay Leno found." Stephen Banks said, "It's a very good pie. I like razzleberry from Marie Callender's, but this is razzleberry from Marie Callender's. That's all it is. There is nothing special about this pie." I said, "There's everything special about this pie. And I'm going to find out where this pie came
Jay
from.
Leno, comedy pioneer of the 80s.
I'm going to find where this pie came from. And I will write to Land O'Lakes, Vishnu, Wisconsin. And I will buy this pie for my friends on special occasions. Whatever it costs, I'll have this pie shipped to me."
His cardamom is perfect. The mixture's beautiful.
Perfect pie. And then Stephen Banks takes my pie. He takes my pie. He puts his hands on my pie. Puts his hands on my pie. And he raises the pie into the air.
Oh, no.
Raises the pie into the air. And holds the pie tin right over my face.
Oh, no.
And I look up.
Land O'Lakes.
Embossed in the tray.
Marie Callender's.
Spelled the same?
It was Mary Callender's.
With a K.
Marie K. Callender's. Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin.
Vishnu. I says, it's just a Marie Callender's pie. Jay Leno gave you Marie Callender's pie. He had someone go out to Marie Callender's. They bought 5 pies, gave them to the guests. Says, what about poppycock? What about Sinatra? What about Wisconsin? What about special pie? What about special pie? Not special pie, Penn. Good pie. Great pie.
I gave a corkage fee to Starbucks.
Leno has traveled the world and discovered that Marie Callender raspberry is the best pie.
Raspberry pie is fine.
That's
You like
your
raspberry pie?
favorite. That is, I believe, your favorite.
It's my favorite ever since then.
Okay.
It is also unique. Like there's not,
Not a lot of cardamom in it.
I'm about to misspeak. I only know Marie Callender's is a West Coast thing. But am I wrong?
You're right. You're right.
I am right. Okay. So if you are a lot of guests coming in from out of town, to give them a local thing, it is smart to give
Now
them
I'm
Marie
trying to think
Callender's.
of what pie, what berry they have up in Newfoundland. Because there's a kind of berry in Newfoundland. There's gooseberry. There's another kind of berry that I forgot. Not loganberry. What's that?
Lingen, yeah.
Lingonberry. Lingonberry. There are good berries in
Mine
Newfoundland.
just says Michael Bolton.
But the berries of Newfoundland, you should look up. Because if I,
Lingonberry, Canada's next superfruit.
yeah, lingonberry is great. I will tell you,
Do you know the cancer rates in Newfoundland?
when I was in
Very low.
Newfoundland, I had
chemo.
some really good berry pie. Really good berry pie. If I have a talk show,
Yeah.
if I had a talk show, if they asked me to host The Tonight Show after Jimmy Fallon, when Jimmy Fallon gets too old to host it,
Yeah.
they could come to me
Yeah.
because I'm only 20 years older than he is. When Fallon retires, all my guests, I'm telling you this right now, will get lingonberry pie from a particular baker in Newfoundland that I've scouted out. But here's the problem. The pie was really good.
Yeah.
And when I go to Marie Callender's and get a raspberry pie,
Yeah.
it really is really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
There's a reason why they exist. You know, why they stay in business.
Yeah, there's a lot of Marie Callender's.
And they all make really good pies.
Yeah, really good pie.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
I did something very, very inappropriate with the pie. Very inappropriate.
That was Penn Sunday School.
I was hosting a television show that failed and was terrible.
Okay.
And we were auditioning someone to play a certain part in it. And during the audition, I was very tired. First of all, I knew I was working on a terrible show, and it was my show that I had created, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And I knew it was awful. And I knew the people I was working with weren't getting it, and it was going to be a dreadful failure. I also hadn't slept in 3 or 4 days, and I was exhausted. And somebody said that they wanted the women that we were auditioning. Why don't we have them sit on a pie? And they said, why don't we have them sit on, they were going to say bar stool.
Yeah.
And they said, a pie, up high, because they wanted to see what it'd be like if they were auditioning with me at more my height.
Right.
So the director, my partner, said, why don't we have them sit on a pie? At which point, I became hysterical. I had an episode that was a laughing that everybody realized was an emotionally damaged laughter.
There's a crack in you that we were witnessing.
A deep crack.
Yeah.
Now, this has happened to me when I've cracked a few times, and it happens in laughing. So they couldn't use me in the auditions because I couldn't calm down from laughing for like 20 minutes. Then I had the next day off, and I thought it'd be really, really funny. Really funny. So I talked to a friend of mine, and I said to her, I would like you to sit on a pie so I can take a picture of you. So I got her and another friend of mine, a woman who was a photographer. I invited them both over to my house. And I went to Marie Callender's, and I got 4 or 5 different kinds of pie. And I brought it back to my house. This is the day I should have been sleeping. And laughing maniacally and hysterically, I went out into the courtyard of my house on a bright, sunny day, and I said to my friend, I said, I printed up the sides for the audition so they'll actually show. And I think you should take off all your clothes, sit on the pie, and act like you're auditioning with me.
This is a deep glimpse, my friend.
And I will sit next to you, and we will act like we're reading the script together. And my other friend will take pictures of us. So she said, okay, and she took off her clothes, and she was naked. I was dressed, and then we set dressed the pie. So we would cut out a little slice, and we found that certain textures and colors looked less good to sit on.
Couldn't use just any pie.
No, there was some unpleasantness. But I worked during a time that I was completely and utterly exhausted
Yeah.
and had only one day off. I worked probably about 3 hours, right, on this particular project. And I got this gorgeous picture with the copy of the script showing. I didn't want them to think that I'd gotten a generic picture of a woman sitting on a pie and photoshopped it in. I wanted it to be real, that within 24 hours I could
Right.
get this picture. So she, of course, was laughing hysterically because it's very funny to sit on a pie. I was laughing hysterically because I'd gone mad. And the photographer was laughing hysterically because she got to see
Right.
this whole scene. Snapped this picture that was gorgeous. And then, this was in the 90s, in a kind of foolishness, complete foolishness, I took the digital picture and I sent it to everyone I was working with. I mean, everyone. Which is a violation of all sorts of human resources, right?
Yeah.
You cannot send a picture of a naked woman sitting on a pie to everyone you're working with. That violates all sorts of rules, right? And I was laughing hysterically and really laughing very, very hard. And then we finished the photo shoot, and we're all done, and we're cleaning up, and I take the pie that she was sitting on, and I start eating it. And they all go, "You're eating a pie that I was sitting on?" And I go, "Well, yeah." And they thought that was unusual, and I didn't. And I enjoyed the pie. And that's the end of the story. But I want you to know that I have learned now, after I saw the reaction that people gave me, like, "Why the fuck are you sending me this?" And I answered, "Because it's really, really funny." It looked really funny. A woman sitting on a pie reading the script.
Yeah, and she seemed totally down. She was fine.
Well, it wasn't like,
Yeah.
no, it was like you. It was like if I called you
Yeah.
up and said, "Would you come sit on a pie?" It was just a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no coercion.
Yeah.
You know, there was no,
This woman didn't think she was auditioning for the actual show. Right?
no. And she also, as a matter of fact, her job was, she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
She was this was just an amateur pie sitter.
I might
Yeah.
still have this photo.
Yeah, because I sent it to you.
And she may have discovered that there's a fetish for sitting in cakes and pies.
I believe there is, but we weren't jacked into it.
No.
I mean, we were laughing.
Yeah, at that time.
I mean,
Since then, it's become an unfortunate obsession.
It wasn't a, first of all, it was not a power imbalance.
No.
This was not a woman that wanted anything from me.
Right.
She just wanted to laugh. Second of all, it was not, surprisingly as this may be, it was not a sexual situation.
Right.
Someone taking their clothes off. It was just a really, really funny afternoon for a few friends. I mean,
Yeah.
she wasn't my girlfriend, it was just a friend
Yeah.
that I was just having a blast with.
Yeah.
But everybody else would have known that that was a bad idea to send everybody.
Now, if you gave that photo out to every person who did your show,
You can emboss it on the bottom of a pie pan.
Yeah.
And
before
if
you
you
get
get the
there,
pie
you're
to
like,
find it.
Jay Leno gave every guest a pie from Recalendars. I'm giving you a picture of a woman sitting in that pie. As a thank you for being on my show.
Now, one of the things I considered,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it was me naked sitting on a pie,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it just, me dressed like I was dressed for the auditions
Yeah.
made it funnier.
Yeah.
We tried a few. With
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't sleep.
yeah.
Good excuse. I'd use that. I'd write that down if I were you.
Well,
In case that comes back up at some point.
I wasn't sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping.
I mean, if you're going to make Director's Cut too, certainly a crowdfunding option for be a pie sit photo session with Penn might be a nice.
But I mean, I once did a video where I wanted naked men dancing around me.
That's right.
I've told that story.
Yes. You.
I wanted naked men
But the men were very did not believe that you just wanted what you wanted.
No, but see, the thing is, I didn't have friends. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I said I was making a video
Yeah.
and I wanted you from the waist down, naked, dancing around me, would you do it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Would you do it, Godot?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it was that kind of thing. It's just that everybody I could call was out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends are in show business.
Wouldn't you rather have strangers' dicks touching your shoulders than friends you know's dicks touching your shoulders for a video?
Don't think it makes any difference.
Okay.
It was,
I see what you're going for there.
Yeah.
but it was very
A
hard
little more cavalier if you don't actually know the dicks.
I think so.
You get a little better.
because
you
I
know.
hired male prostitutes to do it.
Right.
And they were very, very surprised that I wanted only what I asked them for.
Yeah.
You know, I paid them their usual fee, and they danced naked around me while I did this joke for a friend of mine. I just wanted to have naked men dancing around me. And I didn't care who they were, but they were very surprised when I said, okay, we're done. Put your clothes on. Thank you. And pay. You know, they took their money and left. Very surprised. They thought something else was going to happen. I guess that would a person who wanted to have sex with a male prostitute, would they pretend it was for something else? No.
Unless they're a senator.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine a lot of people say a lot of, I don't know. I imagine people get, I can see a scenario where someone would hesitate, kind of like make like a half a move.
And then say, we'll see what happens when he gets here. And
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
If
yeah.
it feels right, I'll...
Yeah, yeah.
But this whole story comes from the fact that I paid a corkage fee. Did you ever have anybody at Starbucks pay a corkage fee?
No, I never had anyone offer a corkage fee or pay a corkage fee.
The guys who came with the dunks didn't say, we want to eat dunks over here, we give you $20.
No. They were hoping that we were going to get angry at them and go.
I can see that being funny if you were in high school.
Totally.
Yeah, we're going to get a big bag of dunks and go to...
Yeah, and you see
Citizens
Starbucks as like a
Starbucks.
big corporate enemy. And, yeah.
Because Dunks is a struggling little company.
A little mom and pop shop.
They're owned by Equicorp, right? I mean, it's
I
just,
think so,
Yep.
yeah.
just everything.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that confuses me. Is every single thing a chain? Are
Yeah,
there
I think
any,
so
Are there
now.
any mid-level restaurants that aren't chains?
That's moving out here. That surprised me a lot.
Because I thought Capriotti's
Yeah,
was just Vegas,
yeah,
like that one store.
Right.
And that's a chain,
yeah.
A million, yeah.
a million of them. And I also, there's this new place, of course, called Flower Child
Yeah.
that has a lot of vegan stuff. That's a chain. I
Yeah.
thought that was just opened up here in Vegas. And
And I think it's so there's so much commercial real estate out here that's affordable. I think once you have a hit on your hands, it's very easy to open up a second location here in town. It's also very easy. It's this being a city, it's very easy to travel around and be in different places, and so you can be in different sides of town, and you can still be on top of your restaurants. There's nothing more disappointing than taking people to what's that pizza place, the Grimaldi's.
oh, yeah.
There's nothing more. If you want to disappoint a New Yorker visiting town, take them around and show them the multiple Grimaldi's.
I know.
It breaks their heart. It breaks their heart.
Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Lou Reed, we were in New York, we took like a black car
Yeah.
out to Grimaldi's in Brooklyn.
Yep.
And that was a big, hairy deal.
Yes.
And we had great pizza with Lou explaining
Yeah.
to me. You know how Lou ordered pizza?
Yeah.
I've told you
know
this,
this,
right?
yeah.
We're New Yorkers.
So don't fuck us. We'll have a pepperoni pizza. We're from New York. Don't fuck us. That was his order of a pizza.
But no one doubted his New York roots by doing that.
He
That's
had,
true.
he had cred.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Grimaldi's opened up here, it was a very complicated emotion for me because that's where Lou Reed had taken me for pizza.
Right, and that's where my wife and I went. Like, we're moving from New York to Vegas. Let's have a nice night out.
Final
We walked across the
meal.
Brooklyn Bridge, went to Grimaldi's, watched the sunset over the Brooklyn Bridge, walked back, had like a nice night out in that area, and to land and then see like 8 of them. just really a
The
punch in
Grimaldi
the gut.
mascot out
Yeah.
there.
It's just a punch in the gut. But yeah, everything's, especially out here. As soon as there's one good anything out here, it's everywhere.
And I I thought that Starbucks would never catch on in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Because I thought Manhattan had so many nice little coffee places that would never catch on.
Exactly.
And they're all over, man.
And New Yorkers take pride in not liking chain stuff. You know, like I remember, again, moving here, and I was like, what's everyone's favorite burger? And they all started being like, In-N-Out or whatever. It's like, no, you're not allowed to name a chain restaurant. Like, in New York, you can't name a chain restaurant if you're talking about the best blank anything.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. It's an automatic
Right.
disqualifier. You have no choice here.
Yeah.
They're all chains.
Yeah. And even the stuff I didn't believe was chains.
Yeah.
They surprised me.
Yeah.
Peppermill.
Peppermill. It's not a big chain, but it's a chain.
Is it?
It's in, Tahoe. It's in Reno.
It's up in Northern California where I grew up. There was Peppermill.
Yeah.
I'll fix that in post.
Out of San Francisco. So this all comes back to Jay Leno buying a Marie Callender's pie to give to your guests is an absolutely fine thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if there's any listeners that know a really special good kind of pie from Wisconsin,
Yeah.
I'd like to know about it.
And if anyone knows how to properly ship pies from Newfoundland, we'd like to know about it.
We'd like to know about it.
Oh, being up in
And if someone would like a picture of me naked sitting on a pie, you know that can be arranged.
You better send a couple.
And I'll eat the pie after.
please send 2 pies.
Yeah, Matt and I'll have one. You can have the other.
I was trying to come up with like a translatable version of the difference between a hillbilly and a redneck, like what I do in my act. And then I quickly was like, oh, I'm getting into trouble the way everyone gets into trouble, because I was looking up like Canadian slang terms for regional things, and I realized they've all become controversial, and you got in trouble. Like you can't say, you used to be able to affectionately say Newfie for Newfoundland.
Yep.
And you cannot anymore. You're not allowed to anymore. And I cleared that. And I said, what about hoser? And they said, well, no one says it, so yeah, you can say that, and you'll get a laugh. Because everyone thinks that they love that Americans think that all Canadians say hoser, and they don't.
That was just an SCTV thing, right?
I think so, or at least at the very least generational. As if we were still obsessed with people like, oh, going to America? Like, say gnarly. Say gnarly when you get there. I think it's kind of the equivalent of that. But it worked as Je suis psychedelic hoser. A psychic hoser worked well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was fine.
Je suis psychic hoser. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So that worked out well.
Was that all the French in your act?
That was it. check that box. Moved on to my other stuff.
Well, okay. I wanted to get to Gene Simmons coming backstage, seeing our show. I wanted to get to Star Wars VR. I did a Doug Henning interview. My son was in a play, all this good stuff. But we got carried away with sitting on pies. And who can blame us? That was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening ears,
You become naked and sit on the pie. It bothers me that people can be so shocked by that, and it is absolutely so innocent.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a representation of a pun. Or not a pun, a slip-up, I guess.
Yeah.
You know I love you.
The monkeys are still right.
Show 2 monkeys are still right. Because, we got Sunday's title.